I'm Vic Myers. Welcome to the Resistance. I don't know if anybody is seeing this. I can't tell. I think everything's working. Maybe I'll just sit here and twiddle my thumbs until somebody says, "Hi, Vic." That says I'm now live on YouTube. So I guess I'm live. Anybody out there? Give me a comment or something. How do you like my shirt? I got that from Tom at Dagger Custom Streetwear, or Dagger Custom Apparel, Dagger Streetwear Custom Apparel. The link is in my bio. He's the guy who does the sunflower shirts. Oh, hey, look, there are some people coming in. I am live. Hi, Speed of Sloth and Catch My Whiff and Barbara. Thanks, Barbara. So what I'm doing tonight, because sorry, fingers aren't. Oh. Hi, Hawkeye. I'm going to have Victoria Broderick on live tomorrow night for my podcast, and I'll record it, and it'll release next Tuesday. But I've tried Riverside, and it had all kinds of problems there. So then I tried Descript. Riverside, I couldn't connect to YouTube. Descript, terrible video, great editing, terrible for video, for recording. So I pulled the plug and spent extra money and got StreamYard. That's what I'm on now. So I figure if I'm going to have her on live tomorrow, I need to come in here and see if I can make it work. So that's what I'm doing now. If any MAGA folks want to come in and debate me, I'll invite you up, or if anybody wants to come up, because I need to know how that part works too. Yeah, Speed, my shirt. You know what? If this was just a plain shirt with nothing on it, these are the most comfortable shirts I've ever had. I got them from Tom, the guy who does the sunflower shirts. He's got his own t-shirt shop. He does all kinds of cool shirts. But these are the most comfortable shirts. You can get my shirts there too. If you go to resistorvic.com, it'll take you to the site where my shirts are. So tomorrow night, yeah. So part of the idea of my podcast, I want to, how's it sound, by the way? Can you hear the fan in the background, anybody? Is my sound good? I'll wait for the comments to catch up. Anyway, part of the idea of my podcast is, cool, thanks, Catch. I want to bring politics into, well, not bring politics in. I want to expose just everybody to regular politics, the regular machinery of campaigns and stuff, because what they show us on TV, wow, my hair looks terrible. Tried to get a haircut and he closed just as I drove up. Anyway, what people see about politics, they see on TV and they think that political campaigns are all of these political operatives and high-paid people and, a bunch of political nerds and stuff like that. But having run a congressional campaign myself and having been involved with other campaigns, I know that the real story is the vast majority of people who are working on campaigns are just regular, run-of-the-mill Main Street Americans. So anyway, I was reading Catch's comment. I figure if I can get more people to understand that political campaigns at all levels are just regular people going out there and trying to be active in the system. If I can do that, then maybe that'll motivate a few more people to get involved, because that's what we really need. The video that I'm dropping, not tomorrow, Monday, because I think I'm going to hold off on the weekends. I'm going to try and reclaim my weekends. I haven't had my weekends in a long time because of the videos and stuff. But anyway, Monday I'm going to talk a little bit about how we've got to get active again. We're in this mess because over the last 40 years, people stopped getting involved in politics. They don't vote near as much. They don't vote in the midterms. They don't run for school boards. They don't show up at city council meetings. They don't do all of the stuff that is just, it used to be run-of-the-mill things in American society. Yeah, Catch, the tribal think is a big part of the problem. And one of the ways to break through the tribal think is to show up at the county commissioners meetings, to show up at the city council meetings and meet people who are there and find out that you and the idiot in the MAGA hat, we may vote in different parties, but we're both concerned about whether or not they're going to raise our water rates, right? We have a lot more in common than divides us, I hope. And showing up for these things, for regular meetings and stuff, is a great way to bridge the divide a lot. Now, granted, there's the worst of the MAGA. I don't have any interest in getting to know them. The people who think that January 6th was a great day in history, those kind of people, I got nothing for them. They attacked my country. They attacked everything that my country stands for. So if you support the J6ers, I got nothing for you. You can take a long walk off Short Pier. Wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. So, yeah, it was really depressing. I was working for a satellite TV company at the time, and I was sitting there and I was hooking up her receiver in her living room. And, you know, once you get everything hooked up, you got to turn on the TV, make sure it all works, try different channels and stuff. Turned it on to MSNBC, and I saw the coverage of the Capitol being attacked. And I was like, holy crap, what the hell's going on here? And I watched it for a minute, but I had to, do my work. Well, every day when I come home, can you hear my dogs barking? There's an overpass because I live out of town and a few miles from the interstate, and there's an exit, and there's an overpass on the exit, and the local MAGA Republican Party, they go out every Sunday morning at about 9 o'clock, which is why I get my groceries on Saturdays. They come out every Sunday morning waving all their Trump flags and their Gadsden flags and all that nonsense. And when Biden was in office, the F Biden flag and F Brandon, all of that stuff. And on January 6th, I'm coming home at the end of my day, and all of these assholes are out there on the overpass celebrating what was going on January 6th. And it was really, really tough for me because that's a big, heavy pickup truck I was driving for the company I was working for. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted to run a few of them over, knowing what they were celebrating. I mean, in my mind, they are not Americans anymore. They are traitors. Every last one of them. And like a lot of people want to celebrate the one or two people who refused their pardon for January 6th. I don't find anything to celebrate about them because at the end of the day, they still attacked my country. They still attacked my Constitution. They still attacked everything that me and every generation of my family going back to 1776 served for. So, to hell with those people. Hi, wild cephalopod. Let's see, a cephalopod. That's like an octopus, right? Yeah, double digital. If I can get the hang of this, I'm going to try and find time to do more lives because I think that's like kind of either put up or shut up. I need to go in whole hog? Is that the expression? I got to do something or I'm just going to stagnate. Thanks, Double. All the way from the UK. Hey, funny you should mention that you're from the UK because one of the things I'm hoping to do on one of my upcoming podcasts is to have people from Europe. 2 or 3 guests from Europe, UK, France, because I get comments from all over the world in my videos. And it's like, man, it would be so awesome to have a group of people on my podcast to discuss how the rest of the world views America. Because I can't imagine it's very good. Frankly, I wish the rest of the world would cut America off. I think it would be hard for Americans in the short term, but in the long term, I think the best thing that could happen would be for Europe, UK, and all of our Western democracies to say, you know what, we don't need America. No, we don't need this America. Cut us off. Stop trading with us. All that stuff. Isolate us and make us suffer. I mean, we deserve it. We let this guy get elected again. That's on us. So we got what's coming. And at the end of the day, someday down the road, he's not going to be there anymore. We're going to move past him. And when we do, the rest of the world is going to be like, why should we trust America? Look, we trust you. You were our strongest ally. And then one election and all of a sudden we can't trust America. America doesn't live up to its contracts. America doesn't live up to its ideals on a whim. So I think Europe and the UK isolating us would probably be a good thing. I'm reading Noise Weaver's comment. Yeah, that's one of the things that I say in the video that I'm dropping Monday, is that by America retreating from our political responsibilities, although I don't say it this in depth, by retreating from political involvement, what we've done is we've left a big vacuum, and the extremists got sucked right into that vacuum and filled it. And that's why why we are where we're at today. The good news, I think, we can't cut you off. We need to solve the issue. Oh. No, don't cut us off completely. Still dialogue with us, still communicate with us. But, you don't have to buy our Twinkies, and you don't have to buy our cars. Of course, I don't know if you do buy a lot of our cars. But economically, you could cut us off. I mean, it'll be tough, but in the long run, I think it'd be better. Yes, we definitely gave away our soft power. We gave away more than that. We gave away our credibility. We gave away our leadership. We gave away any right we have to even try to lead the rest of the world. That's what happens. I remember when I was a kid, Dad was pretty big about honesty. And I told my dad a huge lie once. And I didn't know it, but it was eating me alive. And my chest started hurting super bad. I was like 14, I think. And I was doing some handyman work for somebody up the road, and my chest got to hurting so bad that I couldn't stand it. I was like, oh my God, I got to go to the doctor. I went home, and Dad was like, what's wrong? Told him how much pain I was in, and he says, you need to go to the hospital? I was like, I think so. So we load up in the van. He drove a Volkswagen bus at the time. And we head to town, and he took a back road. And I'm sitting there writhing in pain, and I'm like, Dad, why are we going on the back road? Why aren't we going straight into town? And he didn't answer, and after a while, my chest stopped hurting. And he told me, he says, it's nerves. Well, what's bothering you? And I didn't have the guts to tell him. It came out a few days later, the wrong way, but the bottom line is, where was I going with this? It's about trust. I'm super fortunate that my dad still trusted me, because one of his things was, if you lie to me, then you break that trust, and it's not something that you just automatically get back. I think because my dad knew how troubled I was by the lie, that's why he still trusted me. But USA is just a baby. That's true. We are just a baby compared to the rest of the world. But I don't want to make excuses for America, because we're all adults. We can't just blame the people who voted for Trump. We've got to take responsibility, especially all those people who sat on their couch. All those people who said, she's not qualified. I mean, she is, her resume, she was the most qualified presidential candidate we've ever had. The other close one was Hillary Clinton, who, by the way, I didn't care for, not even a little bit, but not for the reasons everybody else didn't like her. She had a tremendous resume as well. So the people who's like, I can't vote for her, she's not qualified, those are, to me, among the stupidest people in the world. Yeah, it is right now. It is dangerous for non-white people, and that saddens me. You know, what's really bad is when I was growing up, I had this really weird idea. One, that racism was something that was way past us, because I didn't experience it growing up. My dad was not racist. In fact, he made a point of teaching me to not be racist, and, you know, looking at everybody and judging them for their character and their behaviors, and not for the color of their skin. And I had this naive idea. And then on graduation day, one of my friends in high school was a black kid. His name was Earl, and he was an orphan. And when we graduated, he had absolutely nobody to celebrate with. He could have went back to the orphanage and celebrated there with maybe his roommate or something. I don't know. So I'm like, hey, Earl, why don't you come with me? Let's go to Beulah. And we did. And the people in my life, the adults in my life that I grew up with, looking up to, they were like family to me. They were the people that my dad grew up with, and their kids were my best friends. One of them was like my brother. And I took Earl with me to make the rounds, and the first place I stopped, the look on their face, because I brought a black kid in, and I was like, what's going on here? I was in a state of shock, and I was like, come on, Earl, let's go. So that was my first real exposure to ugly racism. And then when I joined the Army and I went to Fort Campbell, and we went to Nashville, and we went by a cross burning in somebody's yard. And I was like, wait a minute. I read about that in my history books. I thought that was all history. And it's not. America is as racist today as it's ever been. Thanks, Stubble. You know, the night that I met my wife, let's see, that was in 1991, when I met my wife at the Silver Saddle. Ouch. Cat says hi. Anyway, the night that I met her, I told her I was going to be president someday. I really thought that maybe I would be president someday. I wanted to be. But life happens. Never did get to go to law school and all that other stuff. We've allowed free speech to include the flourishing of hate speech for far too long. I'm going to push back a little bit on you there, Noise Weaver. It's not that we've allowed the hate speech. It's that we have not had the opposite. We haven't done enough. When we see the guys in their They're, or maybe this is what you mean. You know, we don't push back against it. Hi, zombie. You know, one thing about this is I can't see how many people are here. Oh, there's 37 people here. That's cool. The racists have all the money. Yeah, that's true too. You know, another, I guess, naive thought I had when I was a kid is I thought that by the time I reached the age I am now, that we would have so much intermixing of the races, you know, white people marrying Hispanic people and white people marrying black people and Hispanic people marrying black people and et cetera, et cetera. I thought that we would be well on our way from having a whole bunch of separate races. That was pretty silly. Is it bad in PA? Hey, who wants to come up? I need to try and invite somebody up and bring them up on with me. I was kind of hoping that, ouch, cat. I was kind of hoping that somebody from MAGA would stumble upon the live and say, I'll debate you. I'll join X. Okay. What do I have to do to invite a guest? Let's see, extra camera. I don't know. Invite guest. Copy this link. Cat. Oof. Ouch. Go away. Okay, I copied the link. And I'm going to put it here, see if that works. Wonder if, is there private messages? Don't everybody click on it. Double click that link and see what happens. You know, this cat was ignoring me all night until now. What else? Yes, I do have Discord. Yes, Vic, that's what I was told. What were you told? I missed something. Let's see. Can I go into Discord while I'm doing this? I am on Discord. I hope you can still see me. Who am I on Discord? Ouch, God. I'm Resistor Vic, Vic Myers _ 19947. Let's see, I can put that in there. Am I still here? Thanks, Whiff. I'm going to need him if this cat don't stop. That's one of the prettier ones. He, I don't even know yet. Solid gray all the way through. Okay. I am trying. You know, it's a good thing I'm doing this because I would have spent an hour trying to get it all figured out last night with Victoria. Do any of you guys know Victoria? Know who I'm talking about? Victoria Broderick from Tennessee. She ran last year. And she's in a super blue or super red district, just like the one I ran in 14 years ago. And I don't want to say she didn't have a chance. She didn't have a chance, but just like I did, it would have taken a miracle for me to win in mine. Hey, look, add to stage. There you go.
Okay, I can mute that one. Okay. Hi.
Hi,
I
I
know
can hear you too.
it's dark over there. Hi
It is
everybody.
dark.
Yeah, it's because I've got like a green screen set up, so it looks a bit weird. And I'm in black, so it doesn't help. It just looks like I've got a head.
You're a floating head.
Yeah, I'm a floating head. Cheers, by the way, to everybody. I'm having a drink. And a spliff, clearly. But can I just say, Vic, I watched you during the election, and I was really inspired by your videos, actually. Like, as a British person who's, watching from afar, so to speak. But I was really, well, I thought Kamala was going to win. I'm not going to lie.
So did
I
I.
thought, there's no way she's going to fucking lose. Like, are you telling me Trump's going to win again? After all the mad shit that we've seen from Trump, America's going to pick this fucking ass clown again? Oh, yes, they did. And I'm like, oh.
I was in shock. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. I think the world thinks, you said something very important before, Vic, actually. You said the world doesn't trust America. That's true. Because if you give people the ability to vote, sorry, if you give people the ability to vote, and that's what you're going to vote for, people are going to be like, what kind of crazy shit are these people smoking then? I mean, I'm stoned, getting drunk. I would never vote for Trump. The guy's a fucking clown. But some people are like, yeah, let's make this guy the president. And I'm like, oh, this is weird. Like, the first time was funny. I'm not going to lie. It was like, okay, it's just America being America. Like, everyone literally thought that was a one-off. To do it again?
I know,
after
right?
you try to, like, overthrow a fucking election, fucking rape a woman, literally, you got, like, that's not me. Like, you can't sue me. That's true. What the fuck are you doing, America? And now it reminds everybody, like, 1933 wasn't a joke. Fascism comes with a smile, tanned in orange, apparently, which is fucking weird. Creepy.
You know, the first time I thought he was going to win because Hillary ran a horrendous campaign. And she assumed she was going to win the whole way. And
so did everybody else. Everybody else thought she would win because Donald Trump is a joke. But then he won, and everyone's like, what the fuck? So that was weird. And then sanity prevails with Joe Biden. God bless him. Like, fucking people hate on Joe Biden. Bro, shut up. He's not even, like, even when Joe Biden's asleep, he's still better than fucking Donald Trump. Come on. Fuck off.
I have very, very mixed feelings about Joe Biden. On one hand, he came in and he was cleaning up Trump's mess. And on another hand, you know, he was a good man. But there's always going to be a part of me that blames him. Because if I were president, if I became president after Donald Trump, when I was interviewing my prospective attorney generals, I would have had one comment for him. You will prosecute Donald Trump. You will do everything you can to make sure that he is held accountable for January 6th.
Okay, right.
And they didn't.
As much as I want to agree with you, Bick, I don't think that's how politics works, mate. Because these fuckers, no, honestly, this is the truth. These people know the game that they're playing. If they ever put in anybody's mind that the president of the United States is not the law or whatever, then you just become infinitely less powerful at that point. So they were never going to put Trump behind bars, even though we all seen it on TV. A fucking coup d'etat. Like, that's literally what it was. We watched it on fucking CNN, Fox News, whatever the fuck it was. We seen it. That's a coup d'etat. You tried to overthrow the fucking government. And then fucking next day, he's the president. It's like, these people know what Trump is. And they're like, okay, if he can get away with this shit, what are we going to do next when we get in power? That's how these think. They don't think
and now we're finding out.
Or me. They think of themselves. And that's how France are the France chop people's heads off for a reason, bro. They don't like royal families. They chop their heads off. But the rich now are becoming the new royal families of the world. This is the point. We need to tax these people out of existence. or you will get the same thing, which is revolution.
Yeah. Well, my hope is because America has been here before. The difference is we didn't have the internet back then. But
Mm.
in 1920s, 1930, we were here. And we came out of it so much stronger. We got FDR because we were in a place like this. And if America, the difference is back then, I think Americans were more civic minded than they are now. Now, I'm still going to work every day. I'm still getting groceries, even if they do
I
cost more.
I think Americans are a hardy bunch of people. Like
Or what?
the whole nation's built on being immigrants. That's the story of America, to be an immigrant. Like that's what I've always thought anyway, growing up. It's like if you wanna have a good life and you wanna move to another country, go to the United States. That's where dreams are like made from or whatever. Like
Right.
but now it seems like it's the fucking opposite. It's like nobody wants to go there because it's a fucking disaster. Like, but I still think there's positives. Okay, it is negative, but I think when I said my comment before about America being a baby country, it's because it's true. The United States has only been around for about 250 years. My country, 1,000. Most European countries, 1,000 or whatever it is, right? It's fucking long. So you bounce off, ups and downs or whatever. So I still think, even like our beautiful German cousins made a mistake, obviously. Well, two of them, technically. But do we treat Germans like they're all Nazis? No, because
Well, that's because ouch, damn you,
yeah,
cat.
we understand that shit changes. So I don't think America's always going to be this way. So let's not get like super negative.
Well,
But
that
it's going to be
that depends on whether or not America is smart enough to do what the Germans did. After Hitler, the Germans were like, you know what? That wasn't cool. We're kind of embarrassed by this. We're going to make sure that our kids grow up knowing exactly how bad we were. And they teach it.
Mm.
They don't deny it. They make sure that their upcoming generations understand what happened so that they don't repeat it again. In America, right now, we're like, well, you know what? They weren't slaves. They were, I don't even remember the stupid language they're trying to use in Florida and Texas. Unpaid interns
Yeah,
and
I know what
stupid
you
shit
mean.
like that. I mean, that's what we do in America is we try and not admit how bad we were.
Well,
I
I mean,
think,
okay. Well, okay. I'm not American. Clearly, I'm English, so I can only give you my point of view, I suppose, from the outside. But I think America has done pretty well considering your crazy little history that you've got. I mean, let's be honest. America isn't perfect, but then you tell me what country is perfect in the
oh,
entire
no, no.
world. No one's perfect, right? Not even the Germans, who I would consider a very close ally of the UK and the USA, even with its Meiji past or whatever. So I think hopefully America will. I'm going to say this as a Brit. I think America will be like, fuck this shit. When when it comes to uh, what happens next, I think 2028 is it your next the midterms? It's in 2 years, right? So that'll be 2028. I think if you don't have an election, we're gonna see mad shit happen.
Yeah.
That's the thing I'm worried about. It's like, are they gonna try and rig the fucking midterms? That's on my mind. Because
I don't
these are
worry
sneaky
about that
cunts.
so much because we have 3,366, I think, counties, somewhere around that number, counties in America. And each one of those counties processes votes. And those counties push them up to their states. So the logistics of trying to steal an election are incredibly complicated, and you would have to rely on so many people keeping a secret and so many people being willing to do it that's one reason why I don't worry about it.
But what about the Texas redistricting shit that they're talking about? Like, I
Yeah,
watched
that's
the
going to
video with
happen.
well, I watched the video with Gavin Newsom and the Texas guy.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
what are they going to get out of it? They're going to get Texas is going to get a few more congressmen, and I mean some of the Democrats down there. Cuellar, he was a Republican wearing a Democrat badge. I mean,
Give me money. Yeah, well,
yeah, I mean, he voted with them as much or more than he voted with us. A pro-lifer. I mean,
what
he
was that?
wasn't that
What's the
great.
guy's name?
So
What's the guy's name in the Senate, Vic? What's the guy's name in the Senate? Or was he in the Senate? Well, it used to be.
who?
He
Ted
was the,
Cruz?
nah, he was like he was the blue Republican, but he was a Democrat. Oh, what the fuck was his name? He always voted with the fucking Republicans, but he's a Democrat and he's
In
on the
Texas?
Senate. Nah, he's just in the Senate. Of course.
Oh, you're thinking of Manchin.
Yeah, him. He was a fucking cunt. Manchin. He was a Republican, like literally,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, I'm a Democrat." It's like, you're a fucking tosspot, is what you are. I hate these people. Like they're so bad at being good people. Like,
Hey, can you
Paul
turn
Mac-
your mic up just a little bit?
oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
A little more.
Um,
Because I'm really loud so that I can hear you.
okay. Well, I can hear you, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
All right.
It's fucked. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
that'll work.
whatever. I'm sorry. I apologize if I'm low. My apologies.
No, you're cool. I'm just
Anyway.
glad that you came up. Now I know how it works. How
Well, like I said, Vic, I seen your live thing, and I was so impressed by your these little short videos. Like they were short, they weren't really long or anything. And I'm a political nerd, as you can tell. So yeah, I was inspired by your videos. I was like instantly subscribing. You make a lot of sense. Made sense to me.
what part of the UK are you in?
I'm in the hometown of the Beatles.
Of
John
where?
Lennon.
Of the Beatles.
Yeah.
Liverpool?
Scouse. Yes, my good
Yeah.
sir.
Sweet.
Cheers. So, what do you think's going to happen next then with this match?
I think in 26, if things progress the way they are, because the economy is teetering on the brink right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what Fox News and what Donald Trump and all his minions say. It's going to come to a big crash soon.
Mm-hmm.
And when it does, that's going to really change the landscape a lot. I mean, there was a poll put out today that shows more people are identifying as Democrats now than Republicans across the country, is something like that. I don't remember exactly how it was, but it was enough that the Republicans are shitting their pants because so many people have decided to start identifying as Democrats, which is
Good. It's a good thing.
it's
That's
good.
good.
Hopefully all those new Democrats are going to get involved and reform the Democratic Party. Because if we keep going the way we've been going in the Democratic Party, it's not going to work.
Yeah, I'm gonna. The Democratic Party reminds me of, because I'm English. I'm gonna use one of my parties. It reminds me of New Labour, which is like it wasn't left leaning. A lot of people think the Labour in the UK is left leaning. It's technically not. It's centre right. And if you don't
Okay.
know what centre right means, it means neoliberalism. Right. So in the 60s and 70s, we had Thatcher in the United Kingdom, and you guys had Ronald fucking Reagan. And what did they love? Fucking money. That's they
Yeah.
just loved money. So they made everything like
So what is your equivalent of the Democratic Party?
well, we don't really have a Democratic Party, but our left, inverted commas, would be the Labour Party. But they're not left leaning really. They're still neoliberals. They're still from the 70s and 60s or whatever.
Well,
They like
our
to keep on
Democratic Party's
gaslighting.
not left leaning right now.
No, they're center right, exactly like my government is. People think the left is communism or socialism. factually wrong anyway. It's just so wrong, it makes no sense. But in terms of the ideological idea, they are center right. They are conservatives who just want to give the plebs, me and you, or whoever, enough money to say, "Oh, they're nice," when they're actually just rich. They're
Hey,
being
look,
bribed by the
I got
rich,
another
just
one.
like everybody else. Yeah.
I'm going to bring up Noise Weaver too.
Hello, noise. Woo! Oh, we got
How's it
more.
going?
Cheers,
Where
bro.
are you at, Noise? Noise, where are you at?
Give me 1 second so that I can calibrate anything that's going on
Oh,
here.
all right, cool.
Oh, we can hear you, so that's good.
Well, now I got to see if I can take my banner, my logo off because I got you.
What
Oh,
logo?
no, don't do that. Cancel
Leave
that.
Leave everyone on. It's fine.
There we go.
I
That'll
could
probably
no,
be
I
better
can
because I
move
think that
me. No,
it's
what's this?
posting. I
Yeah.
had both YouTube and this one on at the same time, so that's why it was showing a lag between the audio.
No,
I could
wait.
do
I
it
can
like
I can
that.
change that. Don't worry, Vic. I've got a
There.
magic one.
Oh,
No, put it back, Vic. What?
I'm trying.
Put it back the way it was. I can move my face, bro. So it's not like on the way. Like
All right.
the way.
Are we all calibrated now?
Wait, hold on.
It should be fine.
Show.
All right.
Right. Watch this. Let's see if I can just move
Hey,
it.
there you go. Imagine that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, bro. It's fine.
So where are you at, Noise?
I live kind of smack dab in the middle of Missouri, pretty much.
Oof.
Oh, man. What do you
Yeah, I
mean?
know.
Oof, is that bad? In the middle of Missouri?
I mean,
is that
Missouri.
bad?
So Missouri, when you think about it, you have St. Louis up on the northeast side, and that's everything else below that essentially just gets progressively more rural, and very sort of southern ideologies begin to seep in pretty heavily. I got people around here with a sign down the street that literally shows the assassination portrait that was photographed, and it's just in his yard, nonchalant, with a bunch of weird amalgams of flags of like Jesus with an AR-15 and an American flag in the background.
Oh my days.
I could not. I couldn't be there. I mean,
Yeah.
we're
That's
in a
wild.
red county here, but I could not stand to have somebody like that just down the road from me. It would drive me nuts.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, and the weirdest part about it is, it's very few and far between. And what I had messaged earlier about my sort of paraphrasing of the we've allowed free speech to include the flourishing of hate speech. Like you were
Right.
touching essentially on the idea that I was trying to convey there, which was basically we've just slapped hands at the most. I mean, that's mostly what we've done for decades, because there's only so much strongly worded letters can really do from a generational standpoint, and it just hasn't really done much. And I think a lot of that too just sort of leans on the level of complacency that's developed based off of design, essentially keeping us as busy, distracted, and kind of constantly clawing for resources as much as possible, that we're all just kind of routinely cycling through everything. And that's kind of led to where we're at right now, is that when you guys were talking about Biden, for instance, like I definitely did not enjoy Biden's complete moderate behavior on literally everything all the time, and the way that he leaned during the Gaza conflict as well really bothered the shit out of me. But I also knew that it was the lesser of two evils in this regard. And I think that that level of complacency is what's led to where we're at now, where there's so many people that are unwilling to vote because they constantly think that they've developed this sort of almost Russian ideology of learned helplessness, where like any attempt that they try to make is obviously going to be gone against based off of some overarching individuals in control of those votes.
It's
And that's just not
Self-defeating prophecy.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically 1984. That's what we're seeing. Like it's creepy. Like when I
in a way, yeah.
when I watch the internet, it's the most weirdest shit, because I've been here since before YouTube. Like my actual job per se is game development and also being a fucking nerd. So to see the internet change, now everyone wants to sell you some shit. That you can't get away from it. It's a bit weird. But that thing that I'm watching transcends into politics. It's so weird to see. Trump is, I would say, a symptom of society. I'm not saying America's broken. I think society's broken as a fucking whole. Like,
Right.
period. Like, all of us. Like, something weird is going on that makes no sense to anybody.
Well,
You know.
yeah,
And
I don't
it's
want to.
got that way by what you said, noise.
Yeah.
It got that way. It got so broken because, like you said, we've put especially the younger generation in such a position where they don't have a minute of freedom. They
Yeah,
are
they're
slaves to the system.
Yeah,
surviving and not thriving.
you can't buy houses. Like the last time, like someone was like, you see all these young people like on TikTok or whatever going, I can't even afford to live. It's like that's weird.
Yeah, I can't live either.
In the
I mean,
richest countries on the planet, and
Yeah.
you're like, I can't even pay my fucking bills. Like that's wrong.
and then
Something's wrong.
you'll see this from a generational standpoint too when you try to admit the benefits of social healthcare, for instance.
Yeah.
In so many socialized bubbles as it is, I mean, what do you think most of the highway infrastructure and the army is essentially, these are all social programs. But when you bring those words up, it's a concept that has been inflamed into being these having these weird ties with some common enemy that's associated with
Yeah,
the
like
concept.
socialism. Like if you no, you're actually right though. Noise, you're 100%. Like for me as a UK guy, when I hear socialism, it's not a scary word.
Right.
I know where my taxes go, and I use the NHS. Is it perfect? No. What fucking
Right.
system is this made by humans? Right, they're probably broken anyway. But the point is, can I go to the doctor and never worry about the fucking bill? Yes, I can. Do you know why? Because everyone pays the same amount of money, technically speaking, depending on your tax bracket. But the fact
Right.
is, I still pay tax when I don't need the doctor. Do I care? No. I want to give another human being the ability to be looked after, even if I don't even fucking need it, and I still pay tax. I don't care.
Right. And that
Literally
should
don't
be a mentality that should be adopted. And I think one of the weirdest things about the US is it has painted such a very colorful and almost attractive bubble of isolation and individualism to the point where people have become so secluded. I recently just went. I drove to Ohio here recently. My dad just had a really serious hernia surgery, and
I hope your dad's well. Just saying. Hope
yeah, yeah,
Well,
he's getting better. I mean, he's too stubborn not to kind of do well.
Mhm.
But I think one of the biggest things is like just watching the level of fear mongering propaganda that's advertised to them through the mediums that they're still used to using, which is things as simple as cable TV. Like I don't watch cable anymore, right? Because I have the internet and I
Brain.
work
You got a
and
brain.
all of that good stuff.
You got a brain.
But I think the biggest thing is it's like it's not there. I have descaled to the point where I am more necessity and more grounding in just building community or just kind of being out rather than being sedentary. And they're older, but I look at just the dilution and I was bored, so I looked through the guide on the TV, and the majority of those channels, the majority of them are like really sensationalized border control programs. Just it's the same reruns of the same weird just highly sensationalized bullshit, or
It's
just
shit.
ads that are
No,
constantly
it
geared
is just shit.
towards
Yeah. It is.
decrepit behavior. And I mean, it really, because that seeps in, and that fear mongering has worked to the point where I remember in the past I would try to explain, like, hey, I can't afford this procedure that I needed. It was literally an ultrasound that I just needed, and it was going to be like $800 just to have an ultrasound done.
Even you
And
saying that noise just freaks me out. You just mentioning money with like a
yeah.
procedure. Like it literally blows my mind. I'm like, I don't even know how that works in my mind. Just like, what? Hold on.
It's because,
Pay for
well,
things like this shit. Like what?
yeah,
That's
but
weird.
that level of that that level of design and propaganda and supremacy that's built into, oh, we pay a lot, so therefore this must equate to something beneficial,
Mm.
is that disconnect that has been designed into almost everything within the US. So the thought, this very capitalized feature of, if it's expensive it must be quality, even though you and I and many people who still subscribe to that, I could have a conversation with them and talk to them about things, because I used to be a jeweler, so I used to tell them about all the things that I do for very little money to make something look just as good as something that is done very simply, that just has a hell of a lot of higher end materials to it.
Mm.
A lot of people really invest in that, but it's very hard to reach people and grab them and get them to realize
Well,
where they're
That's
stuck.
why I think
sorry, go on, Vic. I apologize. Go on, Vic.
from
We're taking over your show, Vic.
that's
Yeah, I
okay.
apologize.
It's good conversation. That's the point, and it's bringing up some questions that I'm going to have for you guys. But the idea that we have to reach people, I could spend all day, every day, doing lives and or going around to MAGA neighborhoods trying to talk to people, and I'm not going to change minds that way. I
Right.
think the key is for those of us who are of, pardon the arrogant sounding, of the right mind.
No, we are the right man, but there's no
Yeah,
arrogant Vic. That's just stating facts, bro. Let's
Yeah.
let's not give these other people the benefit
Right,
of the doubt.
but
We're the smart ones, and they're
the
fucking
the
assholes.
way forward is for us to find the people who will lead us out, not by changing minds, but by giving people something to gravitate towards.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
true.
we go out there and we find the candidates and we work our asses off to support those candidates that will offer national health care and be proud to do it. You know, Mom Donnie, his victory in New York had absolutely nothing to do with his religion or his name.
Why
And
would
it had
Vic?
absolutely everything to
Right.
do with
Right.
what he was offering his voters. And
Yeah,
it's
because that's the way it should be. You shouldn't like why like I smoke a lot of weed, clearly. Get drunk.
what
But
is it, 5 o'clock in the morning there?
yeah, and I'm stoned and getting drunk, so it's okay. Anyway,
He's a
point
game designer.
being is, the point is, while I roll a spliff, it, man, Danny, like, who cares if he's offering his constituents things that they want that they know is an issue, like rent or whatever the fuck it is. It could be any issue, to be fair. But if he's offering them a solution and he has to prove he can do it clearly, then I would vote for that motherfucker too. Like, why not? I don't care about what color skin you are. If you're upside down, purple. If you can do your job, then I will hire you at my business.
I think that's the thing, though, is there's a lot of people who can talk people into thinking that they can do the job in a
Then
very,
we
very.
need to be well. Then we need to be better as voters, or
We
at
do.
least
I mean,
as
I think a lot of
educators as
people are
well.
very disillusioned by the black and white nature of the sort of bipolar nature of our politics. And
In America,
that,
yes, that's
yeah,
America. See, the thing is, right?
yeah.
Like, I get what you just said, and this is why I'm gonna just interrupt you, and I'm sorry that I did.
No, you're
But
fine. You're good. I gotta grab my charger. anyways. I'm
America
listening.
is only like a two-party system. In the UK, bro, we've got many parties. European politics is a lot different than the United States. And
Do you guys have APAC as a problem over there?
no, I mean it's literally like all press normally in the UK. If we catch a politician saying we're gonna ask a question in Parliament for money, you're fired. The next day you get fired. But in America, it's legal. It's okay to bribe politicians in the United States. It's
Yeah.
fine. Like, it's against the law in my country. If, like, literally you get caught saying you want to talk to the prime minister, give us 20 million quid or whatever. Fuck knows what the amount is. But if you get caught saying that on camera, you're fired, bro. There's no, you're done. Goodbye. Because that's the rules. But in America, like I said, it's a completely different ball game. America, you can literally buy politicians. We've seen them lie for the fucking camera. I'm like, that's weird.
I mean, that's literally how you carry out imperialism,
Yeah.
right? And, I mean, America's level of imperialism is pretty much matched in parity with a lot of the larger countries that, I mean, we don't, there's a mix, right? There's what we have done to benefit to maintain soft power. And I'm not saying that it's done like with weird malicious back cloud of things. But we have definitely done a lot to set up like the sort of like forever war funding and economy that is now sort of turning inward. And I worry so much more about what we've let people get away with and lobby with. My sister is a environmental lawyer, and this is really impacting her tremendously. And like, I'm
what kind of lawyer? You broke up a little bit.
She's an environmental lawyer.
Oh,
she has worked with Aaron Brockovich. She has done everything that she can to stick it to DuPont and their, level of contamination within the U.S. and other countries, as well as traveling to Guam, to adjust and hear cases through like our military bases, the things that we utilized to put out, plane fires in hangars. Different things have all led to, groundwater contamination and beyond. And she is constantly, with the big case coming up in Hawaii, where the DOJ is essentially in Hawaii. I don't know how much I can talk about regarding that.
Don't talk about it. Get in trouble. Shut up.
Well, let me. I've been dying to ask you a question. So you're early 30s, late 20s?
Yeah, 33.
33. Okay. So the question I've been wanting to ask you is, if somebody gave you the magic wand for your generation, what, if we told all the old geezers like me to shut the fuck up, to sit back and watch, what would you prescribe as the way forward to fix our problems?
These are questions that I feel like I should have asked myself a long time ago, and I feel like I can always, I will never be short-winded.
Questions. Don't talk about answer these questions.
But that's what I'm saying is like there is nothing that I can possibly know, because my concerns are primarily
this is why
environmental.
Gen Z has a problem. You can't answer fucking questions. What would I do? What would I do with this fucking motherfucking magical power? I'd say, sit down. You're all being fucking stupid. What are we doing here, ladies and gentlemen? It's 2025. Why are we killing people in Ukraine? And why is Donald Trump the fucking president? Like, can we just calm down?
Well, but I'm thinking more of a systemic or systematic approach.
Yeah.
Well, that's not gonna work, bro. Humans ain't that sophisticated. Like, come on. If it was that easy.
All right, Double. Let him answer the question, for Pete's sake.
I'm sorry. I'm dead. Sorry,
I think so. I don't know how you guys lean. I am very. I don't know if this is the most important thing to bring up, though, but I tend to be very non-religious. I'm almost anti-religious in some ways, but I think in the way of just the level of like theological indoctrination that has sort of creeped itself very imperialistically into the minds of people who are utilizing religion and utilizing ideologies as an excuse to
it's a weapon, not a belief.
Yes, to exploit a hurting generation. So you see this with Israel, right? Like Israel's
but is that new?
I guess you could.
Is that
what's
new?
that?
Though? Is that new?
No, it's not new. It's not new. But if you're giving me a wand, that's what I would begin to eradicate. I see people like Peter Thiel who consistently refer to Greta Thunberg as the Antichrist and his level of
Yeah,
like
'cause that's
need for
true.
constant capitalistic apocalypse. Those things, this delusion of constant grandeur, I know it's a very human urge to want to connect to more, to need to explain away beyond the wall of mortality that they necessarily hit. I am here on this earth, not treating it like a fucking stepping stone to something that may or may not exist metaphysically, and that's how I would
Yeah,
want
that
other
would be
people
weird.
to approach life.
So it sounds like you're saying one of the most important things we could do is to wrest back our government from the religious ideological nut jobs.
Yes,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
wholeheartedly. Because the
that
Democrats do it too, and they appeal to it, but they do it in a way of, I love AOC, I really do. She is also quite a religious person, but she's the type of person who has these relationships with Jesus sort of ideology, and utilizing secular kind ideologies, but lacing it with the undertone of it, having to have some level of metaphysical restraint. And to me, that it just seems like you're appealing to something that you don't really necessarily need to. And it's so and you can't somehow have those positions if you don't somewhat lean in that direction, and that
No one.
bothers the hell out of
Okay, well, but I'm going to tell the truth. That's what politicians do because people believe in God. Their only job is to satisfy your curiosity. That's about it. Like they don't know any real fucking answers. I mean, we know the answers, but we just elect them to do it because we can't be asked. Is the truth. That's our fault as humans. Like the vast majority of people in every democracy don't fucking vote. That's the problem. The
yeah.
minority of people in the United States voted for the worst presidents ever. Not the majority of Americans voted for this motherfucker. Most of them
Right.
stayed at home or just did whatever they fucking do every day. Like that's a problem. We need more people to just go and fucking vote. If that's the system we've got and we're stuck with it, okay. Can we just fucking use it then? So we
Well, I
don't
think
get on
things are going to get
again?
bad enough that we're going to see at least a small resurgence in voting.
Right.
I think we're going to
They
see
have to-
enough of a resurgence that we're going to be able to, at a minimum, take over the House, and then it's going to depend. If we take the House next year, and I think we might take the Senate, although all the pundits are
I
saying
hope
it's going
so.
to be incredibly tough.
I hope so.
If we were able to pull off the House and the Senate next year, then comes the really, really huge question is whether or not the Democrats will stand up and be willing to do what needs to be done. Will they be able to actually stand for something instead of just stand against Trump? Will they be
Yeah.
able to put forward ideas and fight for ideas? I mean,
I don't.
my
My honest opinion is Vic, no, but it'd still be better than Trump. My honest opinion is no. I think the Democrats a weak weak source.
I think it depends on us. It's going to
Yeah.
depend on us, the voters.
I can go with that, Vic. You make sense. I can go with that. I've got your pessimism.
If we put Democrats in control, and in the first month we don't see hellfire and brimstone coming out of them, then it's on
A lot of us
us.
will hold them accountable.
Absolutely.
A lot of that's the thing is like we individuals who are not wrought with the sort of cult-like ideology that the MAGA group are okay with calling people who we even would normally vote for out for being shitty and complacent. And I mean, look at what we do with Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer and people who we know are just
Shit.
kind of
Garbage.
leaning and waiting for a pendulum to swing back rather than actually doing anything.
Yeah.
And we're okay with being honest that nothing is perfect, but we need to see results, and we're not just going to shift our mentality because it's become our identity somehow. And that's a good thing. But the thing that I worry about is, we talk about how voting went. I was working for FedEx before I got my recent job. I ended up God, I was a jeweler, then I was a graphic designer, and then I really wanted to switch jobs. So I worked as a driver for FedEx, and in that area, in that sphere here, everybody is a Trump supporter. And I'm not gonna say everybody because there were a couple of people who clearly weren't that I was able to go on drives with and have talks like this, but the majority of them were, and I was able to change somewhat of the way that they were thinking. But as voting became closer for um, Kamala and Trump, one of the biggest things that I noticed was every single was a Trump supporter or who was following the weird podcast of manosphere behavior, um, like of that ilk. They were trying to grasp for something to maintain that identity. And one of the biggest things that was the whole FEMA ordeal, of how they had spent money that was supposed to go towards FEMA relief or something like that, and there was like some weird shady deal, even though it was very small. There was no need. They fumbled the whole thing by shifting Biden at the last minute for Kamala to begin with, even giving him any room to try and run again. And it really put people who actually had an opportunity to vote on their fucking couch because they felt like it wasn't worth it. And just those things by design, not really having much of a platform or energy from our side, just opened the door.
I think if she would have stayed with her beginning approach, if she would have stayed more left and and fought for that part of the platform rather than trying to moderate, I think
and reach across the aisle. Yeah.
So you can't reach across the aisle to a bunch of rabid pit bull dogs.
Right.
Nothing against pit bulls. I've had a pit bull. I love those dogs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been watching American politics since the 80s. Yes, I am old, ladies and gentlemen. But I would say Kamala Harris did run the most weird election candidate for the president ever. Like, when in your lifetime have you ever seen Donald Trump versus any other normal president in your life? Because I fucking haven't. Like, it blows my mind to even contemplate that he's still the president right now in my fucking stone drunk brain. Donald Trump is your fucking commander in chief. That makes no sense to anyone who can scratch two brain cells together.
Well, it does if you realize how the power of lobbying. And that's really what it's come down to. You have multiple facets, multiple interventions. So you have Israel's intervention, you have private party intervention, you have Russia's intervention, and you have these think tanks and the internal, fascism that is sort of brewed. You have literal fucking neo-Nazi camps within the U.S.
Hold on, noise. Can I just interject 1 second? I want to let you finish. Are you saying that the media is to blame for the people of the United States not getting off their ass and saying, fuck this fucking guy, not again?
That's a great question, actually.
Because the people who fucking won the election, bro, got off their ass and went.
All right, Double. That was a great question. Let's see what he has to say.
No. I do to an extent, but what I blame is the restraint of media, and also anybody who owns those outlets being able to invest in skewing an algorithm for people who normally utilize it. You saw those fucking people behind Trump as he was sworn in. I remember watching the photo even when he was sworn in and didn't have his hand on the Bible or anything like that too, because this is very much by design, right? Like it's
a cunt. Why would he?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter to me. I mean, it's just one more thing for them to symbolically hold on to, like a fucking serial killer, and that's
creepy. Well,
it's all very routine.
The only reason why I actually about the media thing is because, like I said before, even to Vic there, who's chilling, listens to our mad convo. I found Vic randomly on YouTube. I was invested in the United States election. I love politics. I've been streaming it. I've more channels than you guys put together. Trust me, like more than sex, because I stream well, shows that you shouldn't stream because you need to pay for them, but I don't care. But the point is, I found my good sir Vic, and he was just like a random dude. I never met him before, and he
Yeah.
was talking about American politics, and I was like, this guy's inspiring me, not because how shitty Trump is, but because this guy is American.
Yeah.
Do you understand the dynamic of how weird that shit is? Like, he's more fucking American to me than Donald Trump, and he's your president. Like that makes
Donald Trump's not an American; he's a capitalist.
he's a fucking cunt.
Yeah.
And I want to get back to the whole media question because we never hear anything about it. I mean, in a day where we see CBS agreeing to have government bias monitors that report to the president. I mean, in my youth, when I was your age, Noise, that kind of shit never would have happened.
Gestapo.
But now we're in that age where it is, and it's happening because we've allowed 2 or 3 different companies to own all of the media.
Right.
That is a huge part of the problem. I actually spent a lot of time today working on something that I'm going to put out next week. And the idea is, well, I don't want to spoil it for next week, and it's not fully thought out, but
Don't spoil it. Just wait. Don't spoil it. Just wait.
part of it is we've got to find people who are willing to look at the idea of monopolies in this country, and we've got to start breaking up all of these companies, 2 or 3 companies owning all of the beef, 2 or 3 companies owning all of the media companies, 2 or 3 companies owning all of the cereal companies. We've got to break all of those monopolies up. That's what they did at the turn of the 20th century because they recognized how that was a big part of what brought us the Great Depression.
Bro, no, it's because the government knew that the rich people were richer than the government, and they don't like that, bro. You got a choice. You can be owned by the rich, or you can be run by the rich. Now, the government, by the people, for the people. Bro, I'm English. Remember this? Remember this. By the people, for the people. A lot of people in the United Kingdom, which Americans don't get, we actually like your 4th of July, not because we celebrate the fact that you won. We celebrate the fact that we understand history, my good friends. We were the first country on the planet to make slavery fucking illegal. The first. I just want to put that out there for anybody who doesn't know. You can't be a slave in England because the air is too pure. Thomas Sowell.
Hey, I've got to ask. I've been wondering for the longest time. Does the king have any power?
Well, yes and no. Technically, he's the head of state, so that means he has to sign loads of shit, but he can't make any laws because that's the job of Parliament. You see, the crown is a representative of the power that they took from the king. Right? The Magna Carta. It's right there, bro. So they got all the barons or whatever, and they were like, no, the king can't go around spending our money like a crazy cunt. So they said, we're going to set up parliament, and then we'll decide it ourselves. All the rich people, by the way, not plebs like me and you, all the rich people decided this shit. So that's how you get democracy. So democracy is basically the rich people deciding what the fuck they want to do. Basically, instead of one guy telling everybody what to do, they're like, nah, we can share the power. That's why it's good to learn history, because you understand the world is very complex, yes, and I still believe in this context of our peaceful conversation that America will bounce back. I don't think Donald Trump is a fucking annoying character, I'm not gonna lie, but I think America will bounce back because it'll be like, that's not what we are. I honestly believe.
See, I need to get. I told you I want to have that podcast where I have 2 or 3 or 4 people from across the pond on, and I want to see if they're all as optimistic about America's future as you are.
I mean, I work with a lot of people. So I work in a semiconductor company here in Missouri, and I mean, a lot of individuals that I work with are either from China, India, or a few actually from Canada, Germany, and we travel to Berlin a lot and Taiwan, and so there's perspective everywhere, and obviously this is going to accomplish the same thing that your situation would, but so many of them are fed a completely different story, and then so many of them understand but stay far quieter than myself. Um, and until the other day, I had an instance where there was a cop here in town, and my coworker, he's Indian, and he's one of the nicest guys ever. Incredible guy. Will invite you over and feed you, and anything. He was just driving to work and didn't put his turn signal on to exit a roundabout, and the cop was behind him and just pulled him over. And this is as the whole ICE escalation is occurring, and
That's mad.
so what ends up happening is the cop goes up to him, and Amit doesn't really know how to conduct himself. He's been in the U.S. for a while, but still, it's just this kind of lack of confidence and understanding how to really conduct yourself in that situation is, nerve-wracking. And so, not asking for his license or anything, he told us that the cop just asked him to get out of the car and go to his vehicle. And so he did that because one, Amit was alone, and he didn't kind of know what was going on. And when I heard that, immediately I'm like, that's a red flag. Like, you don't do that. You don't just get out of the vehicle and go to a cop's vehicle just because they tell you to do that for no reason whatsoever. And it's that kind of racial profiling was the first for him to really experience that to such a degree, but on a level of authority that I fear how much this is permeating within the minds of anybody who assumes that they're not only service members to some degree within the community, but are now just bestowed a level of authority that they can kind of lean in that direction, and then have protection completely from.
That's another thing that really freaks me out about today compared to my youth. My grandfather was a cop in Chicago during the Dillinger, Al Capone days.
That's mad.
Oh wow!
He never fired his weapon in the line of duty. Got shot in the leg, but he never fired his weapon. He walked a beat. My wife's dad was a cop. He was a chief of police in Parachute once upon a time. And he would tell me stories. But the idea of using that authority of the badge and being what I can only call fascist never occurred to them. And that was my grandfather and my father-in-law. And just, that's not that long ago. We got this generation of police is all of a sudden turned into something that we question. I used to say all the time, most cops are good. Most cops are good. And I still want to believe that most cops are good. If most cops are good, then most cops need to root out the bad cops.
And that's the problem, though, is
can I just say, as someone who's mixed race, you're both white, as far as I'm concerned, anyway, compared to me, right? So you've never been
pretty translucent.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's actually a good joke. Not gonna lie, right? But the point is, right? I understand the race thing, but I think the problem is we need to educate our youth and our people. All people, because we're all the same. Like I got onto a thing that you just said before, Vic, about like different species or whatever, like different peoples. Nah, we're all the same. Like there is no other. Like as long as we're not doing any harm to anybody else, then why the fuck does the fucking melanin in my face matter, or who the fuck I want to shag, or like why do you care? If I'm not doing any harm to any human, what is it any of your business to ask me questions?
I think that a lot of the racism we see isn't so much about how much melanin you have in your skin. I think
Right,
it's more about the fact that they can use that as an avenue to gain power. That's
Yeah,
what
you can
racism
just
is about more than anything
quality.
else.
Right. It's
But we
used.
we beat that before. We beat it again. That's right. Like you said
Right.
before, are you optimistic, or do you want to find more other people like me from outside the USA to be optimistic? I think you will find a lot of people like me are optimistic, not because I don't think America is inherently bad. Like that's a stupid fucking comment anyway. Like literally, it's bad axiomatically, it's bad philosophically, whatever. So I don't believe America's doomed. I think America needs to hurry the fuck up and wake up to 1933 because it literally fucking is. And
Well, I think one of the biggest things
I'm
is we
betting on
need
you guys
to.
to fucking wake up.
No. I mean, you're right. We've leaned so much into a direction that it's going to be really hard to dig ourselves out of a hole of sort of capitalizing resources into oblivion. I-
Okay, noise.
weird.
Wait, you're just clipping in and out of
Yeah,
my.
you're starting to break up pretty bad
Yeah,
noise.
it's
Oh,
just
sorry,
clipping.
man.
All right, well, try again. Say what I was gonna say, but just try again. It's like I can hear some weird fucking clicking shit. I don't know what that is. I don't know. I'm a nerd.
Can you
I
hear
don't
me
know
all
what
right
it is.
now?
But we can hear you fine, but it just keeps clicking. I don't know what the
Almost like static.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it?
We're assuming it's you. It could be me. I don't know.
No, it's definitely him. It's not us. I'm stoned and drunk. It ain't me.
Okay, you
I
muted
spent
yourself
too long.
and the static went away. So yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a microphone thing then maybe. But it's cool anyway.
Yeah.
Noise. Yeah. Oh, you're back. Go on. Continue. Sorry.
Is it a little better?
Just fucking talk. Just
Yeah.
say what you were gonna say. Just shut up. Keep going.
No. All I'm saying is, and this is kind of existential, but I notice sort of a very common trend that when you eradicate resources, like the more that we start to realize that, and one of the reasons why you start to realize the repealing of like NOAA and a lot of services that allow us to sort of track climate change or resource loss or population loss, a lot of those things are just sort of being blackened. It's because the people in power who are railing against these things as if they're hoaxes know how powerful they actually are and do understand them, but know that if they start to give in, this can go back to even some ties to levels of monopoly as well. The more that you have to recognize your rape of resource and come to terms with that and be accountable for the level of sort of detriment that you've placed upon the earth in general, the more people start to try and build delusions to hold on to for their identity. And so these you see people starting to lean towards strongmen, even if they're not necessarily strongmen, but that concept as a way of holding on to something that is slipping away, as a way of sort of backing a barking dog into a corner. And this is their reaction. And like I do try to be very positive in a lot of ways. I guess I could kind of lean a little bit more into like an existential positive nihilism sometimes. Um,
That's
but
an
it's
oxymoron. That's an oxymoron. You can't say that.
yeah, it is. But it's just it's this huge swing of emotions that I have constantly because my biggest thing again comes back to um, the environment that we live in and what we're tied to ultimately, and how much that is affecting us and our level of truth seeking altogether and what we can remain accountable for. And if we can let people know that they're not scared or shouldn't be scared for being accountable for the things that they contribute to and how they can change, then I start to see that might be a way to form a positive turn from all of this. Some
Well,
pendulum swinging and sticking.
well, I would say I'm gonna. Sorry, Vic. I'm gonna suck your dick. I'm not.
That's I don't mean to cut anybody off or change the subject, but I'm kind of glancing at the comments over here, and I'm curious if JT Thompson wants to come up. because
Really?
I'm watching some of them comments and I'm thinking, you know what? Come on up.
This is
JT, do you
gonna be
want to come up?
strange. Yeah, let him in. If he can get in here, it's gonna be strange. Noise. This is gonna be interesting, I suppose.
I haven't been able to watch the comments because
Uh.
every time I go back to theirs, when my mic cuts
Oh,
out.
so you're clicking again? Okay. Your PC is the problem. But Vic, I was gonna say, in response to noise, Vic is the perfect example of what you just said, because I literally had no idea who Vic was. Like, I got no idea. And then I'm just watching politics, and I found this video. Fuck knows how. It just showed up on YouTube for whatever reason. But I found his voice to be passionate, honest, truthful, logical. And I was like, I like this guy. Fucking subscribe.
Oh, now you're going to make me blush.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I did say sucky dick, but I'm being honest, like in a funny way, right? I'm just being honest. Like I love politics. You guys obviously love politics, so we wouldn't be talking, I suppose. But
Do I love
am
politics, or do
No,
I just
think
feel
you
that
should.
politics is a
It's
necessity? It's something that I have a responsibility to know and be involved in.
Yes. The last
My
part.
wife would say I love politics.
No, I would say it is. I think that's actually what we're trying to hit on as like our conversation expands. It is our responsibility to vote. It is, or we get fucking Donald fucking Trump or some weird cunt. It's our responsibility to vote. We should be educated and be like, that guy's a fucking moron. Don't vote for them. Vote
Okay,
for
I want to bring up a new question.
Okay.
So we've kind of talked a little bit about how we got here. We talked about where we are. But if we think about what does come next, one of the questions that I ponder on every once in a while is, what's it going to take for us to be able to trust a president again, to trust our congressman, our senator, our governor? Because that is a huge part of our problem in America, is we don't trust our politicians. We don't view them as real people. So what is it going to take for us to be able to trust them? And what kind of a president
Do you want the truth? Do you want the truth from Anglo-Saxon? Do you want the truth? Just chop off the fucking head. Like, literally. Like that.
That's when we can trust them? After we decapitate them?
Yeah. That's like, if you look at your own, my history, do you think I'm kidding at this point? Like, we didn't change much as human beings. I know people have iPhones and they all think they're intellectually smart because ChatGPT can fucking predict tokens. Fuck off. No. The point is that the only time you're going to trust your government is when you kill them.
No.
Yes.
Seriously though.
I've got 1,000 years of proof.
If Bernie Sanders was 10 years younger, he could run again. I would trust him implicitly, because if you look back through his history,
I love Bernie Sanders.
He's the same guy today as he was 40, 50, 60 years ago.
Yeah, but no one voted for him. You fucking. That's the point that you're missing. No one. I'm Bernie Sanders' biggest fan. And I'm not,
Bernie was screwed out of having any real shot.
By Hillary, and then he got
because people equated progressive individuals
with communism.
Yes, and they use that word the same as it always has been, as something that is conceptually bad. Equates to the enemy.
Bed. It's McCarthyism. It's exactly what it is. It's McCarthyism.
Yeah. But that is a delusion. That lack of education, the constant propaganda and distractions away from what it actually means, and the entire person that Bernie Sanders is, has led to that level of complacency. And then you have the goal constantly changing, where you have people on the left slowly trying to meet people on the right so that they can adhere to some attraction to individuals who would normally vote Republican or vote Libertarian, and then you just have this constant goal shift further and further and further right, where the right moved totalitarianism and the left have moved center. And now anybody who is progressive is just some crazy fucking
Leftist.
socialist liberal.
I'm getting tired
Yeah.
of hearing the word leftist.
It's
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
annoying because it doesn't exist. Like the whole idea of being on the left is so fucking weirdly. Like I don't understand if people live on planet Earth anymore. When I hear the word "I'm on the left," I'm like, what fucking
Right.
reality do you live in? Like, are you fucking stupid? Like the
Well, yeah, and
entire
that's why-
fucking world is like fucking center right. Like fucking hell.
One of my political fantasies is to actually have to me, in my mind, it is the great debate, the great decider, is to have the most left politician go up against the most right politician and actually have a battle for the ideology of our nation.
I would say FDR versus fucking let me see.
Yeah. I think the left
FDR versus
would win
Ronald
hands
Reagan would be a
down
fucking
if they
banger.
actually had the national
FDR would
debate.
kick his ass. FDR would kick Ronald Reagan's ass all over the place.
Oh yeah, but
He'd be like,
do we
"Bitch,
have
I'm gonna
another
build it here.
FDR?
I'm gonna build the fucking interstate highway, you cunt, and I'm gonna tax the rich and
I think
fucking make it happen."
it's in us.
He did make it happen.
Eisenhower built the interstate highways.
Well, fucking hell, but you still tax me. The point is, shut up. Yes, I accept these corrections. The point is, right? Like they tax the rich at like was it 90% or so?
Yeah.
It was some fucking weird amount. Did they build the fucking interstate? Fucking yes, they did.
Hey, when you see my video tomorrow, I don't want you to think I was stealing your speech right now, because what you're talking about right now happens to be covered in part in my video tomorrow. But
Vic, you don't need to apologize or be like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Oh, it's weird because I make a video and it sits in the computer for a day or two before it gets published. And in the meantime, 2 or 3 other creators, some of my favorite ones, or podcasts that I listen to, will talk about exactly what I've already made the video for. And I'm like, oh, fuck, now I'm going to look like somebody who copies.
No.
I mean, do you think that there's some level of subconscious inspiration that's occurring just based off of what you're viewing on a daily basis too, and like that the sort of movement? So that like it could
Vic's a
also
legend,
come.
bro. Vic
could be. That could be a very good thing.
No, Vic's a legend. I'm gonna.
I'm not doubting that. Yeah. Look, I think it's one of my favorite videos is when you were wearing the soldiers patches from Ukraine.
Yeah.
That was
very proud of that jacket.
Yeah. When that first broke out, I had like a complete just mental meltdown. I'm not going to lie. Like, because I could see everything was very predictable. The actions that are going on now within our government, as well as the actions within the Russian government, the behavior, warfare behavior, and who's funding what and who's capable of giving up what to help for whatever on an international level. It just seems very, very predictable, and it's nice when people are actually on your side when you try to bring something up especially around here in conversation. Either people don't understand very much, they don't want to talk about it, or they're just the antithesis of how I think. And it sucks because it makes you feel very alone in a world where I know there's a community of individuals who understand that level of sacrifice.
Wait, hold on, noise. There is people in our social circles, whatever the fuck you want to call it, because we're here. Like, pardon me. Sorry. Like I said before, like I never knew Vic. I was interested about doing the whole fucking election shit. But Vic, I felt was important, and I've subscribed to him. He does his bad videos, and I'm like, I fucking like this guy. I like the fact that I think this is America. When he speaks, like Vic's gonna be like, I've got no idea what this fucking English guy's saying because he speaks with a weird accent. But the fact is that Vic is an inspiration for me in terms of because we fought the Germans bro, World War II, right? I feel like America is in 1933. I'm watching it live on TV. The fucking war. But you gonna drop any bombs on anybody? No, because it's 2025. But you're living in 1933. You just don't
Uh,
know it. I've
we
fucking
say
seen the
no, but
movie. It's
I'd
mad.
be lying if I didn't say I wasn't worried that one
It's
day
mad.
Trump's going to wake up and see his regime going south and decide that his way out of it is to drop some bombs.
Yeah.
I worry
I mean,
about
that's what
that.
I worried
Yeah,
about
it's
with
fucking creepy.
his connection with Israel and their involvement in Iran. There's a historian online that goes in detail on the analysis of like what could potentially happen based off of Trump's whole administration relationships
No.
with Israel and Netanyahu. And my worry is that, if we did ever do that, so let's say we did drop more
The
on
world
or
will end if you drop any bombs anywhere. The world's gonna fucking end. Like that's
well,
the
I,
fact.
I think one of the biggest things is it's a way we have waged wars for so long. And I
As a
remember talking
country, that yeah, but you've done it.
Double. Let him finish a sentence.
Sorry,
to no.
I
So
apologize. Sorry,
the jeweler that I apprenticed under, this is an example that I'll be able to use this as. He was military police in Afghanistan, and he was almost killed. And he was talking about it one day, and I was just like, "Man, what is your honest takeaway from us having been over there for as long as we did?" And because I mean, I obviously have my concerns, but I wasn't a part of the war, But I had lost friends that I missed dearly to it, and his takeaway was, I wanted to leave once I realized that all they were doing was trying to move us closer and closer to oil caches, and that really raised a lot of concerns. And when I started to more about forever wars and how we wage them essentially, and our level of involvement in puppet governments, and just like other countries, I mean, other countries do this as well, but we're not guilty of it. It started to break the illusion that we were actually doing anything right to begin with, and that is kind of the hold that I see. If we were to do anything toward Iran, it wouldn't be something that we would win. We would just lose a lot of resources to, but it would be something to hold on to shift our economy in a way that justifies us constantly building militarily and consistently holding resources from people that actually matter within our country, the same way that Russia is promising to do for a large scale war that is going to somehow appease whatever Project Russia handbook they have written within their orthodoxy. And that's what I worry about. I worry about us essentially having been compromised, where things are going to become privatized the same way. So
My biggest worry about what he did in Iran the other day is 10, 20 years from now. And the way we're supporting what Netanyahu's doing to Gaza.
Yeah.
My biggest worry, I mean, outside of the obvious worry for all those kids who are starving, outside of that obvious part there, I'm thinking 10 or 20 years down the road about the bomb going off on Main Street America.
Yeah.
Because of what happened in Iran or what's happening in Gaza, and we're supporting it.
Can I just interrupt? I mean, I don't
Yeah.
mean to be the historian.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm English, so the historian is going to come out in me a little bit. You fucking created Iran. You guys did. The
Yeah.
CIA and fucking, well, technically the UK as well, along with France, right?
And Dulles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got rid of fucking Mossadegh. Because why? Give us your fucking oil, bro. That's why.
Exactly.
So
Iran was a cultural center of the world for the longest time.
Oh yeah.
And they were a peaceful nation.
They've never invaded anybody. They can wear hijabs, not wear hijabs. They didn't care, bro. It's the most secular, even today, technically speaking, it's the most secular Muslim nation on the planet.
And then
It's
one day
fucking
we
bizarre.
decided that we wanted to control their country, and that gave rise to the Ayatollahs.
And now they want to get rid of them. Fucking
Yeah.
irony. It's lost on some people.
Yeah, but
Another
that's-
argument for green energy. The sooner that we can transfer the world into green energy, the sooner oil becomes unimportant and the motivation for all of our involvement in the Middle East goes away.
I wish I was that optimistic in your assessments of what you just said. That's not the truth, bro. The truth is, I'm just going to tell you the truth. The way the money works is that they don't want to kill. Well, in the English sense, let me say this in English: you don't shit where you fucking sleep.
Right.
And if they're shitting where they're sleeping, they ain't gonna make no money. So you can either leave planet Earth or shit where you're sleeping. They need renewable energy for one reason. We all fucking die otherwise. It's not that fucking. It's not that hard.
And in the meantime, they're going to sap as many resources until it's absolutely
Exactly.
necessary.
Yeah.
Because
And they're
for
like,
the
"Oh, it's
activism
fine.
that
We're all gonna survive." We live
You
on a
guys see the
planet.
movie Interstellar?
No, have you seen?
I saw bits and pieces of
Wait,
it.
have
yeah.
you seen the movie Don't Look Up? Have you seen that movie Don't Look Up?
Yeah,
It's got a bad rap,
Excellent.
but I
That's,
yeah.
No, that's the best movie ever. It's,
it is.
it's just glorious. It's like everyone's not paying attention, like fucking Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, and everyone fucking picks Donald fucking Trump. Like that's stupid.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Shut up. I need a little spliff. Vic, next question, my good sir. Can I just say, Vic, by the way, you are a beautiful human being. And I hope your wife and family and everyone associated with you loves you as much as I do, as a random United Kingdom person.
If Double and I were out at the pub having a beer, he would be the guy. I love you, man.
I'd get you so wrecked, bro. You would not find your way home. You just
This and I have been sober for over a year.
I have gone. I've never really been a huge drinker. Got in some trouble in the Army, and I was drinking when I got in trouble. But and that kind of was like, okay, I've sowed my wild oats. Enough of this shit. So now I drink occasionally. And then I went to Scotland with my wife a couple of years ago, and now my drink of choice is always Scotch.
Well, I was very big into Scotch.
Scotch is the original whiskey, and you know what they call Scotch in the United States? They call it Jack Daniels. Scotch is literally fermented. Jack Daniels isn't. That's why.
No, Jack Daniels has always been, before I went to Scotland, Jack Daniels was my drink of choice.
It is mine. I'm not complaining or shitting on Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels is nothing compared to good Scotch.
I like really peaty scotches. And then there's actually. Sorry, go ahead.
No voice. Go on, noise. I
really like. My favorites would have been Ardbeg and Lagavulin, and then but one of my favorites all around is actually a Japanese whiskey, and it's incredible, and it's made in coffee stills, and it's a malt whiskey that they have. It's probably the most interesting because you can discern almost every single flavor. It's not something that somebody has to be a professional to be like, I can taste all of these weird phenols. And,
wait, can I ask you a question? Wait, stop. Do you literally taste alcohol? I just got shit faced, to be fair. Like, why taste it?
It depends on the alcohol.
Well, I mean, if it's expensive, it's gonna ban. I know that much. It's like, shit.
No, I think it's just really nice because you can immediately detect orange blossoms, and that feeling is calming.
You've educated me, Noise, because in my American ignorance, anytime somebody says alcoholic beverage in Japan, the only thing I'm thinking is sake, rice wine. Right? It never occurred to me that they would have any other kind of. And I apologize to Japan for that.
No. They're very fond of whiskey.
I had no idea.
I accept that's racist because that was my first thought. I was like, when we was talking, I was like, I like sake. That's just really good because I had a sushi. I was like, that's just good, bro. So I totally agree with Vic. It's sake legit. If you don't even like Japanese food, just say, give me sake. you'll be happy.
You know what's really funny is my last name is Campbell, and so I'm Scottish. And I tried
Campbell Big Balls.
a couple of Campbelltown whiskeys, and they suck. So
You can't shit on your own family like that. Bro.
I'm
What are you
sorry,
doing?
dude.
Don't shit on them.
I will hold anybody accountable.
Okay,
I've
no, I'm
tried
gonna
them
agree.
between 13 and 15-year-old, and they both, from a Highland perspective, they are much better.
I think the best vodka is Russian. Like, if you gotta complain about Russian vodka, you got issues, bro, with history and your life. Like, the best vodka is Russian. Like, we can all agree on that. I hope.
I
Potato
don't drink
mix.
enough to know the difference
either
between
anymore.
American
Oh.
cheap vodka and Russian vodka.
When it comes to vodka, I would assume I just want it to be very pure and almost nearly tasteless, if that's the case.
Vodka should be fire. That's what vodka is like. That thing just sets on fire. It's amazing. It is really good.
The thing I stay away from is tequila.
Yeah.
Well,
Because-
no,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Any time I've done something colossally stupid and alcohol was
Tequila.
involved, tequila. It's
Now,
just
is it
like,
tequila
that's good.
alone,
You-
or
you
is
know
it
your
because
limits
of the
then,
drinks
Vic.
that it's mixed with that make it very easy to drink a lot of?
no, just straight up shots.
Just straight up, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No,
I just like it that way.
Vic's a
Yeah.
man. He's not a pussy. He's not one of these little incel bitches. He's
No,
like,
tequila
I'm
tequila
gonna
makes
take
me very
I'm gonna
warm,
take my tequila like
and I
that.
think that's the very inviting feeling. It's wine and tequila specifically. Wine is really weird. I get headaches almost immediately
From
drinking
I'm
wine?
that way with beer, with American beer.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what that is, guys? That's you don't drink enough water. When you drink alcohol, you get dehydrated. It's like
Yeah, always.
so you
Yeah,
need to
but
drink more
it's
water.
also sulfates have a
Fucking
huge
wine.
thing to do
Wine
with
does the
that.
same
Yeah.
shit to me. If I drink wine,
Glenlivet's good.
I get the worst hangover ever because it literally fucking makes my brain feel like 5% smaller or some shit. So I don't know what's going on there. But that's hydration. So you need to drink lots of water. If you're going out to get
Right.
shit faced, drink water. It's good for you because your brain literally shrinks when you drink alcohol. So
Well, I don't drink anymore because I've done it too often. So
you're a
that's
pussy. Shut up. No
Well,
one
I
wants to hear
don't
your
drink
intro.
as much because I live 20 miles out of town, and it's just so crazy. I mean, if I was to go into town and go to a bar, my
Yeah.
life could be ruined.
I think you don't need to drink, Vic. I think you make me drunk on your enthusiasm for your country. There you
Yeah,
go.
Vic, when I see your videos and I see the
Makes
sort
me
of
drunk.
expanse behind you, I have these. So, like, I always used to tell my friend, I used to always have a dream, a recurring dream, where I sort of showed up on the side of the road in a desert somewhere and just loved
That's a
the
song.
sort of solace
That's
of staring out towards just the vastness of it. And so when I see your videos, a lot of it, like, I sort of pine for that in a weird way, even though I've never experienced it. I still, like, constantly just want to. And there's a weird part of me that wants to die feeling that level of expanse, like
Are
knowing
you
that
in the
things
middle
are
of
still.
forest?
No,
No?
no, but I mean, the Ozarks is very close
Oh my
by.
god.
When I was in T school, when I was in the Army and I was in Virginia, it's like all the trees everywhere, and I got to feeling claustrophobic because I couldn't see more than 50 yards. It's
I
like, get me back to my mountains.
Yeah. We were. I think the closest that I've come to that is when I was going to school in Ohio, and I was going for at that point as an art student, and the drive down, like, all of that, it was just constant pine to the point where it just swallowed you. And at night, when you're doing that at night, there's so much coverage that it's zero pitch black.
Yeah.
If you were to turn your lights off, you wouldn't be able to see your hand in front of you. And there's a part of me that loves that, but I think a lot of it is really just like when I see your videos or I see land like that, there's a level of, oh, this still exists. Like, there's still grounding to that recognition, and that makes me feel good. And there's a part of myself that wants to be able to escape for my own level of anxiety, being surrounded by everything that I am, and that's kind of where you live that offers that mentality. to an extent, at least from my perception, the way that I have perceived it,
Yeah.
and it feels nice.
I just like being able to go out on my porch and take a leak without having to worry about the neighbors.
Yeah, right. Or ending up on a list.
Well, can I add to that? As someone from a little tiny island, America's pretty huge. To be fair. There's my little island, but I would say I do. I love America's expanse. I know it's kind of cliche, but I like Vic. I see Vic as, like when you're growing up and you're watching like people on TV and what you think people are or culture or whatever. I see Vic as a cowboy, but a different kind of cowboy, not like the one on the telly, but a real one. Like if you said what's a cowboy and you said what's this video, you'd be like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
But then when I listen to Vic, he's a cowboy, like legit one. He ain't fucking around. He's saying what he's saying. And he's gonna say y'all or some stupid shit. Fuck those. But I like that. I like, this is what I was saying before. It's very interesting how we as people need to change the subject. I think people like Vic, people like yourself, Noise, and me, or whoever else is in the space, we need to stop fucking around because it is getting a bit strange now, isn't it? As a sentient being, watching this develop is a bit weird.
Yeah, and not doing
I
anything
read a
about
history
it.
book. Yeah, no. So
Yeah.
I wanna help Americans be like, this is fucking real. It ain't a drill. It's literally real.
Yeah, the $1
I
million
wanna help
question is
people.
whether or not enough Americans will wake up and realize it's not a drill.
I don't know. Vic.
That's the big question. The big
I don't
burning
know.
question is how
think-
bad will it get? Will it go too far before America says, "Oh, wait a minute,
Right.
let's pull back"?
Well, I think a lot of people, I start to look at the bystander effect, right? Like, there's so many people who would and feel the urge to do something, but are silently still trapped in their routine and hoping that other people will do something. And that permeates the minds of a lot of people, myself included sometimes, because I'm like, well, tomorrow I still have to go to work and I have
Yeah.
to start, getting this place ready again for when my girlfriend's kid comes back. And I have to do all of these things. And then also I have to save democracy because there's all of this shit happening.
That's mad.
And it's
that's mad. Just you saying that's mad. Sorry.
right. But it's like, and then it hurts. The area that I live in, so I live in an area where the people who are detained by ICE in St. Louis and in Chicago are processed in our prison here.
Yeah.
And there are people who have already died through that. And, some of the nicest people at the restaurants nearby that I talk to and have built a relationship with at all, I worry every single day that they're just going to be ushered off somewhere. Silently.
We've got just literally exactly 30 miles from my house is a private prison that's been shuttered for years.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to work at the state prison here. Mm-hmm. And one of the guys that I used to work with, I bumped into him at my current job the other day. And he's like, "You should come work with us. We're going to become an ICE detention center." What? I was like, you know what? I'm not a fucking Nazi.
Yeah, dude.
And I don't want Nazis as neighbors. And if you're working there, you're a Nazi. So no, thank you. And it's not a done deal yet, whether or not that county is going to let that become a nice detention center. And I've been pondering on doing a video directed at Huerfano County.
Yeah.
To say, make a choice. You're either Nazis or you're not.
Vic, you should have just said yeah and just filmed these fucking cunts. You should have just said yeah and just like done undercover shit like fucking.
I've always wondered who is doing that. I want to know who is.
James Bond and these motherfuckers be like, yeah, okay, I'll play your game. I'll fucking record them. Fucking record their fucking mad shit.
I think if there was somebody going in and doing the undercover stuff, trying to expose them, then we would be seeing something.
Right. Well, that too, but it's like there are so many incentives for ICE too. Like there's the funding, there's the amount that you get paid yearly, the amount paid per body, the amount that they're willing to relinquish in your college funds now if you join ICE. All of these things that they've withheld so that they can put into a paramilitary group. I think I'm curious. I'm curious to know if there's anybody who's actually doing that and following through, or at least joining for the sake of slowing and gumming up the cogs of the situation. But I think in your case, you've definitely been involved with people in the community to raise hell about things like this, and I feel like this is sort of a great opportunity for you. And I'm not saying
Does this guy sound like
I feel bad because I don't want you to be the only person to take the onus for making a change, but I feel like you have a great voice for doing that, especially towards something like this, to gum up the cogs of this development a little bit further, because the more friction you add, the harder it gets for people to divert from that.
Well, I'm familiar with one of the county commissioners that really has all the power on that board up there, and he's going to push it through. I'm sure he's going to push it through, and it won't matter what the people in the county say. He's going to push us through because he's that kind of a piece of garbage, and he has the power. He's a big landowner up there and old money, and yeah, I'm sure it's eventually going to get through, but the only possible saving grace is the detention centers have to be within 200 miles or 2 hours, within 2 hours of a ICE processing center. And I don't know if it quite meets that metric.
Depends on how much lenience they're willing to put through just for the sake of developing it too. Yeah,
they're kind of funny with their rules. It's like, well, this rule's kind of inconvenient, so the hell with it.
Yeah.
Okay, you're both American, right? Clearly. Noise, American. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. What does it feel like living in 1933 Germany?
It's frustratingly scary.
Weird. Yeah. Because, as Vic said before, right, he wants to experience outside. What would you call it? Experience, Vic? I don't know. Whatever. So I'm just trying to give my 2 cents from the UK. I think it's very strange and very scary because very clearly well read in history. I mean, I did read Shakespeare when I was like 10 or whatever. The point is, what's it like being not a fucking fascist in a fascist country, which I would define as, because it literally is. So it's a bit weird. I mean, I don't mean to boggle your guys' minds, but if you want to enjoy all my
ask me 6 months from now and 12 months from now and 18 months from now.
Vic's already, I give up. Go on, Noise. Vic's giving up. Vic, you're not even going to answer me. You're just like, I don't fucking know.
I don't. I don't know. There's some days where I am depressed about knowing where we could end up, and it scares the hell out of me. And there's days like the other day when they broke the news about CBS having their compliance monitors, right? My wife's sitting on the couch next to me, and that comes on the news, and we're both like, holy shit, what the hell is this place coming to? And at the same time, she will get frustrated with me because everything's about politics with me, right? So it's like my wife gets it. She sees it. She knows how dangerous
she doesn't care.
Trump is. It's not that she doesn't care. It's that she doesn't. Hates it. I think she doesn't let it scare her like it scares me.
Yeah, but I think that makes sense though, Vic, because I think your wife is like, I don't care. I've got to do things for the family.
I'm the fighter in the family, and she's the get along person in the family.
But your wife is, I would say, your queen, right? If you don't mind me using that. metaphor. She's your queen, and your queen is
Yeah.
saying, I'm fucking done listening to this shit. Can we?" She focused on better things. Like, it's not like a bad thing. It's just like, I don't fucking care. Come
I
on.
think I think
Let's
she
do it.
understands that if you become so consumed with it that that now becomes your identity as well, then nothing ever gets done, and you're just left in a bubble of anxiety to the point where that will then affect you even being useful.
No,
And
it's
so
not
if she
that.
can
No,
break
wait,
that
no, wait, no,
routine,
no. She's saying, I don't give a fuck. I know
No,
you
I don't.
do.
I don't think it's that she doesn't care. I
No,
think
she,
yeah,
she doesn't.
it's more like Noise is saying that.
Vic, she loves you enough. Like, honestly, I'm telling you the truth. Vic, your wife loves you enough to say, I literally know what the world is, and I know you're interested in it, but really, I've got better things to deal with than your
Uh,
fucking obsession with this fascist cunt. She knows already
I
what
think
you
it's
think.
more she's of the mindset that whatever's going to happen is going to happen. There's nothing I can
yeah,
do about it.
yeah.
That's,
Okay.
that's why she's your wife.
Yeah.
Clearly, Vic. She
Whereas
clearly
me,
thinks.
I've always been Don Quixote. You know, one of these days I'm pushing that damn windmill over.
Well, I'm buying your wife a fucking drink. Also, so just saying,
Yeah.
she sounds like a lovely lady to me. She's got her head screwed on. I mean, she married you. She can't be that fucking mad, can she? She listens to your ass all day, so that's good. And you make a lot of sense to me. So
31 years last month. Or wait a minute, is this
exactly.
August yet?
How fucking long has anybody stayed with anybody that long? I don't fucking know. The only person I can honestly say stayed that long with somebody else was my ex girlfriend's fucking parents. They were together for like 26 years. I can't say any longer because, well, she isn't my girlfriend anymore, so I
Well,
don't
she's
fucking
got to
know.
stay with me. It's too expensive to divorce me.
Okay, now you're being racist. Or some shit. I don't fucking know.
We'll
Someone's
never
gonna
get what
cheat.
we need out of the house.
Well, to be honest, right, you have. I think no, said this before, and I'm going to say it too. You have got lovely backgrounds, like no, like you don't even pay for that. It's just like that's me garden. It's just
Yeah.
like fucking like mountains and shit. I'm like so jealous.
It's the one of these days I'm going to go up in the mountains and film some videos.
You should.
That would be awesome.
Why not?
Yeah.
Like fucking right there. They
Because
look
there's some
brilliant.
amazing scenery around here. One of these days, maybe I'll go up to Bishop's Castle because when we went to Scotland, it was all about going and seeing the castle ruins. And
Yeah, yeah.
21 days driving around Scotland, the most amazing thing we've ever done.
Part of the antique.
But right up the road from me is Bishop's Castle. And I watched it grow from rocks on the ground into an actual castle. And if you look on Facebook, you can find Bishop's Castle. And the first castle we went in over there, I'm going up in the narrow rock stairwell, and I'm like, hey, this is just like Bishop's Castle. But yeah, maybe I'll go do a video from there one day.
That would be
Well,
awesome.
I think you should. I think you could. Like, I know you politically, right? I appreciate that because I think your cowboy is American. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
But I would like if you want to do more like random ass videos, then I'll be up for watching that shit. I watch all kinds of crazy shit anyway. It doesn't matter. So yeah,
Well-
show us your backyard is what I'm saying, my good friend.
Yeah. Well, you know what, guys? It's 11:30 here, and I've got to be to work in the morning. So
Yeah.
I very much appreciate you guys coming up and letting me learn how this software is working. And I really enjoyed the conversation. And trying to keep track of the comments over there on the side.
You need two screens, Vic. You need two screens. You can't
Yeah,
have
it's
one
hard.
screen. You need two, bro. I've got like three. You need more than one. You put one program on one screen, you put the other program on the screen, and you put the other one over there. That's your porn.
Like that? Is that what I should have done?
Well, I don't fucking know. Put your porn over there. For whoever over there. So
Anyway,
it always works.
yeah,
Well,
I've got to call it a
can I just
night.
say, Vic, can I just say, Vic, before we leave? Thank you for hosting a wonderful show, obviously, because I was on it to my own horn. And also because I think you are, well, I think as an English person, you represent the best of America, not the worst. Even
Oh,
though
that is the highest of
it's pretty
compliments.
shitty right now, but I still think you're the best kind of American, and the world knows you exist. Put it that way. It's not all negative, even though. Kind of
Well, thank you. And thanks, guys, for coming along for the ride.
Of course, man. Have a good one.
We'll see you down the road. Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys. Love you all. Make sure you subscribe and like the fucking channel. Don't be lazy.